Well, well, well. What an interesting Monday Night Raw. Thanks for coming. Welcome to LilBigMan Gaming, YouTube world and YouTube tribe. Yeah, this was a very interesting Monday Night Raw. Um, Two things. Biggie basically tweeted earlier in the day that he was going to be cashing in his Money in the Bank briefcase on the winner between Randy Orton and Bobby Lashley, making it basically fully known that he was coming to Raw. The other thing I want to touch about just briefly, and I'll probably touch if I decide to do a review for NXT, I would touch upon it there. But just briefly want to touch upon the fact that Samoa Joe did relinquish the NXT championship because of injury. I think he said because of some injuries. The medical staff wanted him to step away for just for a bit, but yet still undisclosed, undetermined amount of time. So he don't know when he's gonna be back, but it's not he. I guess being sure that it won't be long. But anywho, with that out the way, let's get into the show. Biggie, Randy Orton, and Bobby Lashley starts off the night with Biggie coming out first, just hyping up the crowd, don't even say nothing. Don't even get in the ring, just hyping up the crowd by raising up his briefcase and letting the crowd know that he is in the building and basically there, like about to fulfill his promise. Randy Orton will come out a little bit shortly after that, and to interrupting doing Big E's hyping the crowd up, and then Bobby Lashley, before Randy Orton could even get in the ring, came out soon after. And Big E would get in the ring, and he basically would start off by saying that, just so that is no confusion, he fully intends to cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase tonight on the winner between Randy Orton and Bobby Lashley. So, Riddle, in his funny little escapades, would go through that, bro, Big E, glad to have you back. We always glad to have you. But could you not cash it in on Randy? He's like my best bro. And Randy just was like, oh my God, man. Like, what is wrong with you? And MVP's like, man, shut your dumb up. He was like, Randy, he said Big E's not going to cash in on Randy because Randy is not going to beat Bobby Lashley for the WWE Championship. Then he just started running down why they upset. They upset because it was supposed to be a tag team match between them and RK Bro for the tag team titles. Instead, Randy went back and politic, as MVP said, to get the WWE Championship match at Extreme Rules shifted from Extreme Rules to tonight. And he asked Randy to elaborate, and Randy said he basically did that to ensure that he have a chance against Bobby Lashley. He said he looked at Bobby and it seemed like the only way he might catch Bobby off guard if maybe he changed the date on Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley expected to defend his title at Extreme Rules, and he got the date changed to tonight, so he wouldn't be expecting it. They would go back and forth. Big E would make a joke about two big meaty men, and MVP would make a Joker reference by calling Biggie the Clown Prince, and I was like, okay, Joker reference, and basically started running Biggie down by being a coward and how he basically ran from SmackDown and ran from maybe because he was scared of Roman Reigns or Brock Lesnar, and Bobby was like, I'm not. And then I think it will break down again with them arguing, and Bobby basically said, enough is enough. Randy, you're not gonna beat me. You're not gonna beat me because I'm gonna destroy and mangle your body and throw a rag doll basically all around the ring. And he turned to Big E and told Big E, you come anywhere near me with that Money in the Bank briefcase. He said, I'm gonna shove it up your so far that you're gonna be able to taste the fine print. And Biggie was like, "You mean this case, this case, this case?" And he started raving it in front of them, and he would then I think like Bobby smacked it out his hand, but it flew out the ring, and basically Biggie and Bobby were getting into each other's face. Basically about to fight until Randy Orton came out of nowhere. Like Biggie sidestepped it, and Randy ended up RKOing Bobby Lashley to end the promo. Then we will get the first match of the night, which is Shayna Baszler versus Charlotte Flair. I think they could call this a contenders match. Basically, if she would have won, she would have been able to face Charlotte for the championship. It was a good match. It was I really enjoyed it. Like it was like I was really into it. Like, and that's to say a lot since I was since I haven't really been into a Charlotte match in a long time. Well, I won't say a long time because I was into the Charlotte and Nia Jax matches, especially because they would try to basically shoot it as a really like they was really starting to fight. Or I think one week the first time it was actually real, or it could have been real. Like it was the first time was believable as being real, but as much talk as it got because of the first time, the second time was actually a shoot. But the first time was iffy if it was a shoot or if it was real. But yeah, the little tit for tat thing I didn't really like. The whole I'm gonna get you for getting me doing that. So Nia ended up distracting Shayna, and Shayna would get pinned by it would get I think she hit the natural selection. She did something and pinned Shayna Baszler to win. But then out would come Alexa Bliss, who have a gift for Charlotte and tell Charlotte that this gift is for as a token of her and Lily's appreciation to thank her for accepting their championship match. She eventually at Extreme Rules, she eventually goaded Charlotte into taking the gift, which turns out to be a Lily doll dressed like Charlotte, and I think she said that doll was named Charlie, or it was something she named it like that. And they said it was for her to play with once they take when they take the title from her, and that she said she knows that Charlotte said, "Oh, I'm the queen. I don't need no friends. I don't need anybody." But she said even a narcissistic, self-absorbed like you could use a friend. And she said, "You know what? I am narcissistic, and that." And that I don't play with dogs. I mean, she said I don't play with dogs like I could at championships and all that. And that she said I'm gonna adult you. She said and she also, before I get to this part, she says she also made a joke or reference by saying that at least the box wasn't ticking. Making a reference to how Joker always give people presents, or even Harley Quinn is usually like a bomb in it. So she made a reference to that, but yeah, she told her that when she get locked in the palace cell, she gonna have Mattel send Alexa Mattel Charlotte action figure, and that she until then she's gonna adult her into Extreme Rules, and said long live the queen, and threw the Lily doll at Alexa, and Alexa and Charlotte would start to fight. Well, Alexa getting the best of her, and they ended the promo with Alexa, raising up the title and being momentarily victorious over Charlotte. This will go into the second match of the night, which is a 6-man tag match, which is Drew McIntyre and the Viking Raiders versus Jinder Mahal, Veer, and Shanky. The match was good. It started off good decently so for this type of match. The thing I didn't like about it that made the whole match pointless was the fact that it was a 6-man tag match, but only five. Oh, I had a 10. 5 of the 6 men basically participated. Like everybody on Ginger's side, Ginger himself, Veer, and Shanky all got tagged into the match, but only Drew McIntyre and Ivor, I think that's the bald headed one's name. Him and Drew was actually in the match. The other one didn't even get tagged in at all, and the match was over when Drew hit Shanky with a Claymore kick. So I'm like, the match was so quick, we didn't even get the full 6 men. It was just two men from the one side and all 3 from the other. So it was like, okay, but yeah, the winner, Drew McIntyre and the Viking Raiders. The third match would be Damian Priest versus Jeff Hardy for the United States Championship match, and that match was good. Like, that was really good. It got me back on track with they got me back on track with being interested in the show with this match, because I was like, that was some hard hitting match. I think even at a certain point, I think Damian was bleeding from his mouth a little bit. But yeah, it was a good match. It got you back into it. It got you back into the groove of things. And it really was hard hitting. Even with Sheamus at ringside, he never got involved to mess up the match. So it was very decent. I enjoyed it. And your winner would be Damian Priest. He would retain the championship. Then Sheamus got involved and they brawled afterwards. But I think like Sheamus eventually tried to go for the bro kick on Damian Priest. I think he beat up Jeff Hardy too. But he tried to go on the bro kick on Damian Priest. And Dane would hit him with his own bro kick to send Sheamus out of the ring. Sheamus basically screaming he hate him and that he's going to get his gold back. The fourth match would be Nikki. Well, before I get to that, it started because originally the next match was supposed to be Rhea versus Natalya. And that's what the original next match was supposed to be. But then it was a backstage segment where Nikki and Rhea was talking about how to get themselves mentally prepared for when they eventually get a chance to fight for the SmackDown. Not going to say SmackDown. The Women's Tag Team Championship, and Tamina and them would eventually interrupt that conversation, which would lead into a brawl between all 4 women. It would get broken up by Sonya Deville and some referees, and Sonya basically made the match. They said they still going to get Rhea versus Natalya, but before that, we're going to have Nikki versus Tamina to settle this. So that match was actually the good match. It was weird. That's one of the things that was weird about it. This was actually better than the match I'm going to talk about next. It actually was better. It was more compelling and thrilling up until the ending. The ending was weird. I don't know what happened or what it looked like it was a lack of communication. Like it was a communication error, because I think Nikki went for like a DDT, like she was on the ropes and she grabbed Tamina's head and went for a DDT, and she went to go to pin Tamina. Tamina kicked out before the count of 3, but the referee still went down for 3 and rang for the bell. When he rang for the bell, they played Tamina's music and said Tamina won the match, but Nikki and them, having this got to stay in character and can't react to the botch herself. Nikki was still reacting like she won the match. The thing is, she didn't win the match. Tamina did kick out, and they played the wrong. Even if they were gonna say that Nikki won, they played the wrong. They played the wrong woman's. They played Tamina's music over Nikki, so I don't know what was going on there. That whole ending segment was like a big old botch. Like I said, if you go back and look and really look, when she pinned Natalya, the referee went 1, 2, and before he got down for 3, Tamina said kick out, and he still went 3, ring the bell, and they played Tamina's music. I'm like, so did Tamina win? Cause it was so confusing to me. I had to go back and watch it because I thought Tamina pinned Nikki because they played her music. But I remember seeing Tamina on the ground, so I'm like, what? Maybe I looked away because I did look away for a minute. Maybe Tamina reversed the roll up and she pinned Nikki. No, then I'm like, what? If that was the case, why did Nikki look like she was excited that she won the match? So I was all confused. So I had to go. I went back and rewatched it, and I'm like, oh, it was a botch. Nikki was never shouldn't even won the match because I don't. Like, that's why I don't really know who the winner. I don't have a winner for this match. Apparently, it's Nikki, but they're saying they didn't even say, they never even tried to fix it and say it was Nikki. They just left it at Tamina was the winner, but clearly nobody really won because Tamina kicked out. Maybe she wasn't supposed to kick out. I don't know what happened, but. Your winner is apparently Nikki. Now I say that because she was the one who pinned Tamina when the referee counted 1, 2, 3. So there was no way Tamina won. Tamina got pinned, so Tamina is your winner. I just don't understand what else was happening there. So just then it would transition to Rhea versus Natalya. This match was an okay match, but it wasn't as good or compelling as the Nikki versus Tamina match because it was just, I don't know, it by that point, but thanks to the botch, I think mostly you could tell the crowd was too. Everybody was just taken out of it because they was like, what the hell WWE was thinking or doing. But yeah, Rhea would end up beating Natalya. I think she put in like a reverse sharpshooter. That's why it looks like to me like a reverse sharpshooter and got the submission win. They would have another tag match, which is an 8-man tag match, which was Mustafa Ali, Mansoor, and New Day versus AJ Styles, Omos, and T-Bar and Mace. The match was not bad. It wasn't good, so I'm gonna say it was okay because it was actually a little bit entertaining than their past matches was. It's basically just a rehash of the tag team turmoil, except instead of a tag team turmoil, it was just an 8-man tag. But it was still okay. It was just not as good as the tag team turmoil, but okay. And your winners would end up being AJ Omos, and Mason T-Bar because once again when Omos got into the ring, he just dominated everybody and got the win. Your next match was Eva Marie versus Doudrop. It wasn't bad. We find the thing I liked about it, which is why I said I won't say it's bad. I'm gonna get this another okay because it wasn't bad, but it was good to see Eva actually wrestle a damn match. For the first time ever, we get to see that. So I'm like, that's an A+ in my book. So I give it a good okay. Was it bad? It was okay. It was a nice little impressive outing for Doudrop too, and Doudrop would be your winner. Then we would get the main event, which is Bobby Lashley versus Randy Orton for the WWE Championship. That match was very good. It was very good. After the last 3 matches was a little weak to not bad but not good type matches. The main event basically got you back hyped because you knew that it wasn't over just yet thanks to Big E. So, Randy Orton and Bobby, they went at it. I mean, they really went at it. They got good. I think both. They went at it to the point where I think both Randy and Bobby tweaked their legs and knees. Like I think Randy Orton tweaked his leg and Bobby tweaked his knee, in the aftermath of beating up on Randy Orton. But yeah, they went back and forth. It was both compelling. I think Randy hit his RKO on Bobby, but MVP would get involved, making sure that he couldn't get the pin. I think MVP would get RKO for his troubles for making sure Randy couldn't get that pin on Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley would end up hitting the spear on Randy Orton and pinning him 1, 2, 3. Bobby Lashley retained the title. Then like I said, after the match, Bobby Lashley beat up on Matt Riddle and Randy Orton, and then like he did like a choke slam power bomb on Randy through the table. But it looked like he tweaked, like I said, it looked like he tweaked his knee when he did it. So he was like his knee was hurt, but then Big E would come out, cash in, and then we get an impromptu main event, which is then became Bobby Lashley versus Big E for the WWE Championship, and that match basically Bobby Lashley and Big E fought. Big E did like a leg tackle to Bobby. Bobby would do like a spear to Big E. I think Big E went for the big ending, but it would get reversed, and that's what the leg tackle happened. Then Bobby would hit Big E with a spear, but Big E would kick out, and then he would try to. I think he tried to set Bobby. Bobby tried to set Big E up, but Big E would reverse it to another attempt at the big ending. But this time he would hit it and pin Bobby Lashley 1, 2, 3, making Big E, your new WWE champion. Big E will be the winner of this impromptu match, and he will become your new WWE champion. This is not all to say. Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed this, and I even enjoyed the Big E part. But it just got a little. I just got a little bit of a feeling that this was in part due to the ratings and Vince McMahon trying to desperately make some type of wave, some type of noise, some type of ratings grabber. So he pulled the trigger early. I say maybe this was probably supposed to happen at Extreme Rules. Maybe with the draft, they did mention the draft. They said the draft was coming up soon. So it was like maybe this was supposed to be then. Maybe this was supposed to be at Extreme Rules. But I feel like he did it earlier than it was supposed to be. But otherwise, it's still made for good television. It's still made for a good match. Yeah. If I had to give this episode of Raw anything, I would give it. I'll give it 8 big ups. Just because none of the matches besides I don't think I had a problem with none of the matches. I actually yes I did. The Rhea match, the Rhea Ripley match was really the Rhea Ripley and this 8-man tag match and the actually I'll tell you about it. Rhea Ripley and the 6-man tag match was the matches I really didn't care for because it was just like they could have been better. I know they could be better because I know these competitors could put on a better match. The Nikki versus Tamina match was surprisingly good, except for this what the hell were they doing ending, like they botched the whole ending, so I don't know what was going on there. But yeah, other than that, it was a decent show. Wasn't a bad show. Wasn't a bad episode of Raw to watch. But that's all I got. If you enjoyed this video, hit that button in the upper right corner for all of my WWE reviews. And if you really enjoyed this video and you want to support the channel, then hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification button so you get notified when I drop videos. And hit that subscribe button just so you become part of the tribe. Become part of the tribe members who acknowledge me as their tribal chief. And as always, hit any one of these videos for more of my amazing content, but don't go nowhere. We got another review for you. It's a movie review. Malignant. I think that's how you say it. See you in that video.